I can't help it that I look good, smell good, woo, can dance all night long.
You've been talking to the apes and the giraffes and chimpanzees again, haven't you?
Yes, I'm excited.
Hey, good evening. Fast Freddie here for another exciting episode of Fast Freddie Rocks Youngstown, coming to you live and direct from the Youngstown studios, the state-of-the-art Youngstown studios in beautiful downtown Youngstown.
Favorite part.
That's always a tribute to Martin's Appliance in beautiful downtown Struthers. And the guy that ran the place, Danny Martin, I went to school with him. I good a friend of mine over the years, knew him for a long time. Anyways, we are back. Downtown Youngstown soon to be missing one building here. I guess they're going to knock that big one down. Hate to see it go.
Yeah.
You know, it's a historic building, a lot of architecture. If you're a fan of architecture, and you know, to see like probably at least 150 years old or more, right? So you got this old building, made downtown Youngstown look nice, and somebody cut a gas pipe and boom, over.
Oh, so bad.
Then that other place on the west side burnt down, the Torch. Isn't that something? The club is called the Torch, and it burns down. Who would have figured that one?
Yep.
That was pretty.
Now, are you
crazy there.
Suspicious when something goes up like that somebody's trying to get rid of a piece of property
And then they knock it down the very day? Holy crap, boy! We better. Yeah, you know what?
They had their people in line.
Yeah, let's go, man. We got to knock this son of a gun down. You remember though, that used to be the big thing in Youngstown back in the day, either bars catching on fire or exploding, either for insurance or for not having the right jute boxes and cigarette machines and things in there, you know,
or paying the VIG, you know.
Right. Well, you know what they used to do. And Thomas John was telling me about this, when he was working at the Wizard and back at WHOT back in the day, the fire marshals would come and check the records for their advertising to see if they decided to quit advertising like the week of the fire. And that was always kind of a giveaway that they would look at. So, you know, did they all of a sudden quit booking bands, the week before? Did they cancel their advertising the week before? You know, and that was one thing that they would look into that I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize. So keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
If you're advertising, keep that advertising going so you could be like, oh, I didn't, you know. But if they see like, oh, wait a minute here, you canceled your advertising, you know what's going on there. Hey, you got to say hi to Mike tuning in already this evening. Scott, good to hear from you, man. And we haven't done one here for a while. It's been a little tough for me lining up some guests because I've just been so busy. You know,
every day you're somewhere, man. Every day.
It's been one thing after another, you know, especially this last week. Well, the week before, you know, we had that rally at the Ridge out at the Harley shop. That was a big 3-day party. But I'll tell you, the weather is messing with us, man. These outdoor things, you know. Friday at that party, the Friday of that party went good. And then Saturday, they were talking about, you know, the end of the world was coming. And I think people made their minds up on Wednesday that they weren't going out on Saturday. And it didn't really rain that bad, at least in Austin town, you know, a couple of drops, but then it looked threatening all day. And then especially if you're doing that with motorcycles or anything outdoors, really,
caught out
you know, that's the thing, you know?
Yep.
So we had that. And then last week was 4th of July and we had a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, now here we are, we're back in it. There's Barb Fox checking in. Hi, Barb. How are you? Barb and her daughter, Tiff, are trying to win some tickets to see Bret Michaels down at Star Lake this Saturday. So we're giving them away at noon and 3 on Y103 all this week. So maybe Barb and Tiff will win. They deserve it. They're big Bret Michaels fans. And my buddy Greek checking in. What's up, Greek? I still got to get out to California to see him, man. He's out there in San Diego and he keeps saying, come on out. I got to do some of this stuff before, you know, my health, you know, before I'm too old to do this. And
now you take Amtrak all the way out. I think you got some more credits, right?
Yeah, I do have some Amtrak credits. I don't know. No, you know what? Right now, I have very little time to, you know, to do that. That would probably take a couple weeks. I just don't have a couple weeks. I'm lucky to have a couple minutes to come down and do our podcast, you know? Yeah. Okay. Rob's checking in. Rob from Pervert Lane. You know, we had the bikini contest out at the out at the bike show. And we had the Miss Youngstown Harley Davidson bikini contest biker wear. And Rob and some of his perverted friends were right in pervert lane. There was like a row of seats like right up in front of the stage. And those seats got filled up in like 2 seconds fast. And Rob was right there, man.
Yeah.
He wasn't messing around. But boy, we really had some nice girls there too. We really did. Yeah, because some of this stuff has been, after the Me Too thing, and some people are, bikini contest, wet t-shirt contest, blah, blah, blah. We've been trying to have a wet t-shirt contest at Yankee Lake Bike Night all summer. We're going to try to have it again this Wednesday. It has rained almost every Wednesday since spring started. It has rained almost every Wednesday.
Really? We
We have not been able to have, a decent bike night out there. And, we got to get it going, but what are you going to do? What, we had 2 years like that. 1 year in downtown Sharon, when we were doing the lube in downtown Sharon on Wednesday nights, it rained every single week for the whole summer. Every Wednesday, it rained every single week.
Wow.
And then we had a year at the Ice House, where the Ice House, it rained every single Tuesday. We did 4 bike nights the whole summer. It's crazy, and the way this weather is. Then we had some of that rain on 4th of July, looked a little threatening, and, but yeah, it did rain. I was in the 4th of July parade down in Niles, and I think it rained Saturday afternoon, didn't it?
I wasn't around.
Oh, where were you?
I was, where was I this last week? I was camping somewhere.
Oh, I didn't even see. How come did you block me on Facebook? Is that it? You don't,
I posted no pay, and speaking of which,
yeah,
like these wet t-shirt contest bikini, I used to live vicariously through the things you would post on
Yes.
social media. I don't see it anymore.
Well, here's why, because I don't know what they're going to shut me down for.
Okay. All right.
Nowadays, you don't know. I just recently, the Y103 page and my page was kind of shut down for 2 weeks. And it was something we didn't even do. They have these bots now that are patrolling and policing social media, especially Facebook. And you don't know what they're going to find offensive, or it's a mistake. They shut us down. And the post that they had a problem with was a flyer for a bike run to help out the children's hospital.
And that got you
And
flagged.
somehow some kind of bot, artificial intelligence, picked that up as something. I don't know what they got out of that, but we were like shut down for like 2 weeks.
So now you're a little gun shy about posting.
Yeah,
anything up there.
because you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to post, and and it's like, okay, are they going to shut this down? Is this going to violate community standards? They've been really weird on Facebook here lately, and they just shut me. They threatened to shut me down, or they cited me for like some kind of community violation, community standards. And all I did was share Channel 27's post of the naked guy that got tased out in Liberty.
Mm.
And they had some kind of an issue with that. Only they, so that's why I haven't been posting like, the bikini contest, what t-shirt contest, because it's like, I don't know if they're going to shut it down or not.
See, the FCC could never shut you down, could never muzzle you. And here Facebook has finally got you.
Which is supposed to be, the freedom for all, and the internet, the last frontier.
They have Freddie acting PG or G.
Yeah, really. No, because you don't know. And,
right.
and the thing is, and especially at the radio station, we depend on that Facebook page to, show our events and talk about what's going on. And, it took a while. It took 3 years to build that up to where, it's, a viable thing, and you don't want to mess with it because it's like, okay, even the 2 weeks we were down, that might've been like a reach of like 80,000, 100,000. You can't, you don't want to mess with that.
No way. Not at all.
And Rob says his wife and friend said they want to get in the wet t-shirt contest. That's good.
Got some volunteers.
This Wednesday, hopefully Yankee Lake, although I see a 60% chance of rain this week. And some people say, well, why don't, it's raining. Why do they need the wet t-shirt? Why do they cancel it? Because nobody comes out. That's the problem.
Yep.
If they're putting up $1,000 prize, and it's going to be rainy, and you're going to get 100 pervs out there. Well, Rob will be there. You know, Rob's going to be there. Rob
poncho.
Rob is probably going to be the highest bidder to pour water on the titties, you know. And but yeah, I mean, there are guys like Rob that are going to be there, and I will be there to host the activities. But you know, when they're putting out, you know, $1,000 or more for a prize, you got to make it back at the bar. You know, that's the whole idea. So we'll see what happens. Sooner or later, we are going to have that wet t-shirt contest, and him and Larry, Rob and Larry will be right there in the front.
I can hook you up with some like blurs for the boobies so that you don't get struck on there.
Yeah, but the thing with the naked guy on the news story was blurred too.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it was a news story, you know. And then another thing, another one came about. It was the 25th anniversary of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. Now, when that came out, you know, the Trumbull County commissioners, especially Art McGee was like dead set against that. Those guys want nothing to do with minor league baseball. They didn't see the benefits of minor league baseball. They had no idea of what that was all about, how it worked, and they especially didn't want to put any public funding into it. And you know, Kafar stepped up and helped out and made it happen. But we were like one of the big cheerleaders and battling Art McGee and stuff. And then one of his quotes was, "When pigs fly, we'll have minor league baseball when pigs fly." So then we put these t-shirts out that said, you know, "When pigs fly," and they had like flying pigs with aviator glasses and bombing the courthouse and everything. And I wanted to put that up on the anniversary, you know, to show like, you know, what we had when we were trying to get this whole thing started to begin with. But then I'm thinking, okay, are they going to look at this like a pig bombing the courthouse?
Swine violence.
Yeah, you know, and it's like
shut
they
down
got me too nervous right now. They got me too paranoid. And it's like everything I post, I go, should I post that? Should I not post it? You know, it's you know, I just don't want to take a chance right now.
Yeah. So last weekend camping, I checked out. No technology, turned the phone off, didn't do anything. It was great.
Ghost hunting? Did you ghost hunt?
No ghost hunting now.
Nothing.
Nope.
Where'd you go?
Geneva on the lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
at the campground, or did you go the one by the
it's a little bit by the state park. It's the motor coat. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, Geneva. I'll tell you, Geneva was jamming this weekend. Every place was jamming this weekend. I'm surprised for a Monday after a long holiday how good I feel. You know, it was just a good weekend all around, you know.
Good. You got some sun. You've been riding bike?
Got a little bike riding in, sat out in the sun for a little bit.
Nice.
So it was a nice weekend, but you know, judging from everything on, you know, Facebook and stuff, a lot of people were at Presque Isle, a lot of people were at Geneva. Some people went up to Fairport Harbor for their big fireworks display. The people were all over the place, man, especially motorcycles, man. They were everywhere. People were fishing everywhere. I got to say hi to, let's see, Yvonne's checking in. Hi, Yvonne. Yvonne, good friend for a long time. And my good friend Lizzie checking in. Hi, Lizzie. How are you? And let's see, Rob said, they had a blast at the rally. Oh, thank you. It was a lot of fun. We did have a blast. Well, I was the host. What do you expect? You know?
Proper MC.
Maybe some people sit there and go, yeah, either, well, if ask Freddie there, it's going to be fun, or it might be, oh, not that asshole again. Can't they get somebody else for once? Why can't we come to a motorcycle thing and just have a good time without, you know?
Did I see that you won some kind of award?
Oh yeah, man. Best, for the trip, People's Choice, best DJ services, you know.
Quality, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. I don't show up on time. I have outdated equipment. And I show up when I get there.
Strike two.
I show up when I get there.
But it's you overcame all of those things.
Exactly.
Just think, if you showed up on time, you would get double gold.
Oh, yeah.
Premiere.
Right. Man, even that. Oh, Lizzie was at Geneva. She said the fireworks are awesome. That's cool. A lot of good fireworks, you know. Well, it rained on the 4th. That's right, because we had Buck Night at the Scrappers, and they had fireworks, and they were in and out between the rain. You know, my son, he works in baseball, And as a matter of fact, that's one thing. That's one of the reasons that. That's one of the reasons. Jaybird says he sees us in the studio. That must.
I will let him in.
Is he out there?
I don't see him.
Okay. Well, maybe he's not out there.
Maybe he's sitting in the car.
Yeah, maybe. So, anyways, the scrappers. When we used to go to Florida years ago, and minor league baseball is big down there because that's where all the training camps are and everything, and that's a big thing. And so I pretty much knew about minor league baseball. Well, one of the reasons I like the Scrappers is because both of my sons worked at the Scrappers, and they both got, where their careers are, is largely due to the Scrappers, So, awesome. That's why it's a good thing, for the area. Plus, when they have Buck Night, $1 tickets, $1 hot dogs, $1 Cokes, $2 beers. If you want to take the kids out to have some fun, and they don't care if it's not the real Cleveland Guardians, Indians, whatever you want to call them. As long as they go there, maybe they get a ball, they get an autograph, they get their picture taken with Scrappy. And then if they want to leave after the 4th inning, you're not like $500 into it and an hour and a half away.
Right.
So, you take them to the game, you have a little bit of fun. They have a hot dog, they have a Coke, and they bug you for everything in the souvenir shop. And then you go home.
Yeah. Is Hogue still heckling out there?
No, man, I'll tell you what, though. Hogues used to be the king. He used to be the voodoo man.
Yes,
he had this character, the voodoo man. Voodoo man could have went really far, but I think the management of the Scrappers at the time was a little bit afraid of the voodoo man. Mm-hmm. They weren't sure where the voodoo man was headed. They felt he was a loose cannon. They felt that something could go wrong at any time with the voodoo man, and they were a little apprehensive.
It was freaking hilarious.
Victor Martinez loved the voodoo man. He was a huge fan. He could have been really big, but like I say, since Hogue comes off to some people as a little unstable, I don't see how they see that in him. But,
how could they get that from
But some people get the wrong vibe from Hogues. Although he's solid. Hogues is solid, but some people can pick up the wrong vibe off of Hogues.
I trust my life with that dude. He can kill you with his pinky finger. So,
but yeah, when he became Voodoo Man, that was great. But I think they were a little apprehensive. They weren't ready for Voodoo Man.
A little too conservative for the Voodoo Man.
Right. It was funny too. Another funny Scrapper story when they were first trying to get people to see what the minor league baseball was all about and everything. So they took a couple of buses to Erie to see the Erie Seawolves. And, they've been a successful team in Erie for many years. So they had like normal people, regular people. And then at the time they had like these CD 106 listeners. Well, when they said party bus, the average person that's bringing their kids or whatever, or you got the old guy that has been a Cleveland Indians fan since Herb Score and Bob Feller and all those guys. So you got all these people on the bus, and then you got these other like wackos from CD 106 that just heard the word party bus. And, on our party buses, people seem to think that because it was CD 106, there were no rules, that you could just do whatever you want. And they did. And we didn't try to stop it anyway. First off, I don't think we could, if we wanted to. So it was like, okay, why even bother? And so these party buses gained this reputation, and everybody wanted to get on them because it was a party bus. When we said it was a CD 106 party bus, it was a CD 106 party bus. And, we would go to places like Put-in-Bay and opening day and different concerts and things like that. And it was just mayhem. It was just, the people on the bus were nuts. They didn't have to drive. They just brought anything they wanted. And so we had some of these people going up to see the Erie Seawolves that are bringing like bongs and stuff on the bus. The organizers at the beginning were like, hey, I don't know what you guys were doing, but your people on this bus were,
off the chain. Yeah.
And then if you addressed them and said, hey, you can't do that, their response was, hey, you said it was a CD 106 party bus. You said party bus. This is how we party.
You set them up. Like, totally.
Who would have known? Who would have known? But yeah, Scrappers, and they have wrestling coming up at Scrappers. We're going to talk to Mark Henry, WWE superstar Mark Henry, coming up in a little bit. So today I'm having a libation. We didn't even have any hard stuff, but what do we have here today? This is Birdfish Buckeye State of Mind. It's got the state of Ohio and a Buckeye leaf, so I guess this ties in with Ohio State, of course. Duh.
Right.
Look at that. You see
put
how
that
sharp I am?
together.
Now you know why I won DJ of the Year, buddy. Right there. Right there.
Quick, man. Quick.
So anyways, this is from Birdfish, and this is a chocolate peanut butter porter. I'm a fan of the chocolate porter, but the peanut butter, at first I didn't get it. And then a Buckeye, Ohio State Buckeyes, and then the Buckeye cookie. Chocolate and peanut butter, and they made it into a beer at Birdfish. I haven't been down to Birdfish in a while either. That place was rocking the last time I was there, man. They jam them in on the weekends down there.
Smart business people.
Oh yeah, they got a nice setup going there. But anyways, that's what's going on. Jaybird seems to think is he around here or what?
I don't see him. I'm looking.
Okay. All right. Well,
so I'm on strictly water. I'm totally off caffeine, no alcohol.
Really?
No sweets or anything
Why?
like that. Well, caffeine was kicking my ass. I was just doing way too much. I was drinking like 8 espressos a day, and I was totally addicted to it. So I was like,
well, now I feel bad that I'm lacking. I got to take mine up a little bit.
You got to drink my half. Right?
Yeah. Somebody's got to pick up the slack.
Okay.
So you had 8 espressos a day.
8 espressos.
Oh
a day.
man,
I'm
I'm nothing. I feel like now I know what's wrong with me.
What's that?
It's not that I have too much caffeine. I don't have enough caffeine.
Yes. Yeah. It keeps your heart going. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Huh.
2 weeks, no caffeine. Can you imagine that?
Now, what has it done for you? Anything?
First couple of days,
you're dragging ass, headache.
First 3 or 4 days, headaches like crazy, and then it has been fine since. So it took 4 days to get out of my system.
But are you like dragging? You dragging ass?
No, I've actually slept pretty well. Actually, I'm getting all the way through the night, getting 6 hours of solid sleep.
Really?
It's been really good. Yeah.
You shouldn't tell me that.
Why?
Yeah. Because I don't think I could go without. Well, you know what though? I usually get a large Dunkin' iced coffee with an espresso shot every day.
That's when you start off your morning, and that's it.
I start off my afternoon.
It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
Well, I got to kick it up then. That's what I'm saying. If you were drinking 8 a day, so that's why no Buffalo Trace, no espresso shot waiting for me.
No, nothing.
It made me go to the fridge and get my own beer. Oh, so that's
I'm a little off kilter, the none of this other stuff all at the same time.
Yeah.
Got me on tilt.
Yeah.
Do you want some hard stuff? Like I better off
you know what? I'm going to respect you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to respect
you. Thank you. Because that Weller looks really good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It does look...
and Tesla's shaking his head.
Yes, yes he's agreeing with us.
The Tesla bobblehead. Yes. Tesla, though, Tesla, he would be drinking the Schliebowitz. He would be going with the Serbian plum brandy,
For sure.
You know what? I wonder if Jay is at the radio station. He's probably at the radio station looking in the window, thinking that we're there instead of being here. I bet the edibles are kicking in.
I bet you're right.
I'll bet the edibles are kicking in.
So let's mess with them a little bit and say, we see you. Why don't you come in?
Yeah. Come on, Jay. We see you. I'll bet he's at the radio station peeking in the window. Yep. Hey, Mary's checking in. Mary is a fan of Tito's and Red Bull, my fave. Who was the guy that had the great idea to mix Red Bull and Jaeger? The alcohol that makes you do the most craziest stuff that you'll ever do in the world, Jägermeister. So let's pour some Red Bull into that.
Liquid adrenaline.
Yes, to make sure that the guy that is usually the biggest drunkenest asshole has the ability to continue on
all night.
Yes. Let's keep that guy going. Let's keep that guy going. what can we do? Maybe, at least you're figuring, well, if he keeps drinking the Jaeger, he usually passes out at some point or he pukes on himself. Now we're going to change that because this guy is just so entertaining as he is. We just can't get enough of him. So let's really pump him up with some, caffeine, and let's jack this guy up. Sap Dog wants to know where we're at. Sap Dog, we're in downtown Youngstown at the beautiful Youngstown studio, state-of-the-art Youngstown studio. Sap Dog, it's always good to hear from Sap Dog. He's been having a little medical problems, so he hasn't been out on the bike as much, but we miss him. Yeah. Okay, look, we want to come visit Will, Bobby, John. Okay.
Is he okay?
I don't know. I think somebody's on the edibles.
Yep.
I would say on the edibles again, but no, it ain't again. All right. So
yes.
Should we get to our interview?
We can.
Okay, we're going to do our interview here with our guest is Mark Henry. And Mark Henry, WWF superstar for 25 years. And he's going to be a part of the big wrestling program coming to Eastwood Field this Saturday night. Wrestling Under the Stars. You're going to get Bully Ray. And Bully Ray, of course, is the guy that has made a living for many years throwing people through tables with the Dudleys. Now he's just Bully Ray now that he can't use that name. And there's going to be a lot of people. But anyways, let's get in here to our chat with what's his name? Mark Henry. Okay. I'm thinking of Jay.
Man, I'm doing great, man. It's going to be good to get down there.
It's awesome, man. So you're known as Sexual Chocolate and the world's strongest man, and you are also a part of the Hall of Pain. So tell us a little bit about your career in wrestling. Stellar Hall of Fame career. Tell us a little bit about it.
You know what, man? Like to be bragging on myself a little bit. I'm the only human walking the earth that's been a world champion in 3 different sports, powerlifting, strongman, and pro wrestling. People say the moniker as the world's strongest man. It's not a moniker. It's who I really am and who I really was. I had to earn it to be able to call myself the strongest man in the world. So to go into pro wrestling and to have the 24-year career that I had and to become a world champion multiple times is a feat that, very few people get to say they achieved.
And you have so many great matches. Would you say the match with Cena was probably your highlight? Is that your signature match, do you think?
You know what? I had some really good ones with John. It's up there, but to be able to be the main event at WrestleMania and against the Undertaker is pretty high order.
Oh, no kidding.
To win the world championship against Randy Orton and the matches I had with you name it, Ric Flair to Shawn Michaels, Cena, The Rock, you name somebody, I had a match with them, and my Hall of Fame career speaks for itself.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. One of my favorites is when you took on the Big Show and that suplex from the middle rope and the ring collapsed. Now that was a great match. That's one that always pops into my mind.
Very, very memorable match at Vengeance, San Antonio. Like what a great match we had.
Now, with all these guys that you wrestled, who are some of your favorites to even just hang out with or whatever? Who are some of your favorites, or who are some of the guys that you were close with?
Well, I mean, a lot of the guys that I'm close with, I didn't have a lot of matches with them. Even though I had a lot of matches with Rey Mysterio, it was all in sport. And we always got along, but we had really, really great matches. And, I respect the hell out of that guy, the Goldbergs and Kurt Angles of the world. like, you know, I really enjoyed my time in the ring with him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you know, you were fortunate to be a part of the Attitude Era. Actually, you were kind of like you made the segue really from the Attitude Era, I think, into the next stage of pro wrestling, because you took on all these guys, you know, all the guys like the Undertaker and stuff, and then you transitioned into the whole next generation that came along with guys like Randy Orton and Sheamus and people like that. So you've had you were in it for you know, through that transition.
Yeah, I went through the ruthless aggression era. The one of the things that I feel like is a bonus for me is every era that I was in, I had a success in. From the Attitude Era to ruthless aggression era to the Hall of Pain era, in the transition from, you know, me being in the Hall of Fame to me being in the office. I was able to go into the office and do just as well. So I've been very blessed in the wrestling arena.
I would definitely say so. Do you think that the Attitude Era was the best all-time wrestling that we are ever going to see?
I think right now is the best time. They're making more money than we made. They're on TV 4 days a week. You know, they have pay-per-views selling out all over the world. Business is good.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Now, one of your crazy things, you know, and I was thinking that same thing because my son, he is a huge wrestling fan. Ever since he was a young kid, you know, we would host all the matches that came to Youngstown. So he had a chance to meet all you guys. And he's like, he should be doing this interview because he is like, you know, an encyclopedia of wrestling. And, you know, he's been to SummerSlam. He's been to several WrestleManias and everything. And I'll tell you, I see the interest in wrestling right now seems to be as high as it's ever been. You know, with you know, he was just down at the big pay-per-view in Tampa that they had. What was that? Royal Rumble. That was the biggest crowd ever in the Trop down in St. Pete, and it just seems like it's making some kind of a resurgence. And obviously, you're seeing that and you're feeling that.
Right. That's why I was saying this might be the greatest era of them all. Wrestling has been wrestling for the last 125 years. No TMZ or shock jocks are going to change the narrative of pro wrestling. It's good versus evil. There's always going to be the evil character that gets attacked, and there's always going to be a defense of the little guy and the good guy. I think the business of pro wrestling is stronger than it's ever been. We do our best to try to entertain everybody that comes out, and you know, like it's important for us that the young people, that the kids love wrestling and see that it's a viable source of entertainment, but also a great industry to get into, to produce,
yes,
to do sound, to do lighting, to do marketing. Like there's 100 jobs that you can do that don't require you being in the ring getting hit. And, you know, we want the world of pro wrestling to realize if you love it like I do and love it like we do,
yes,
there's a place for you.
So let's talk about some of these, you know, big moments in your career. Like, you know, you got started by slamming Jerry the King Lawler. And I've always been a big fan of the King. So what was it like working with Jerry the King Lawler?
You know what? Jerry is an icon. And for me, just to be associated with him at that time was a gift and a blessing and an honor to be in the ring with him, because nobody knew me in the wrestling world. And for me to be able to touch with Jerry Lawler made a lot of people go, oh, okay, this guy must be somebody coming up. because they didn't just put him in there with randoms. So being in there with Jerry was a blessing.
Right. And I'll tell you what, Jerry was so entertaining. He just it was so quick with his commentary and his comments. And who were some of your favorite announcers? Who did you like?
Gordon Soley was incredible, and Jim Ross, I think, fell right in behind Gordon Soley. Michael Cole right now is killing it. Like, he is so good. And Jim Ross would probably say that right now Michael Cole is probably the best guy in the business, and it'd be hard for me to argue. You know what, man? There's a lot of really highly important people that are going to be there. Bully Ray, Matt Riddle's going to be there. Django and Tyler Breeze and Brad Baylor, and man, like the list of characters are going to go on. But man, I'm looking forward to getting down there, just for the simple fact that I was told that there was a bunch of kids that wanted to meet me from a kid group, and that's anybody that know me know that Mark loves the kids, and I want to get out there and hang out with them.
Well, that's going to be an awesome time. Tickets are very affordable. It looks like we're going to have some great weather on Saturday. We got a great stadium, and it's going to be a great night with a lot of superstars and a lot of action. And the tickets are priced family friendly, so we want everybody to come on out and enjoy a great night of Wrestling Under the Stars.
Man, Wrestling Under the Stars, what a great name, too.
It's going to be a good time, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Now, there he is, the big man, Sexual Chocolate, the one and only Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. And I'll tell you what, he's had some crazy gimmicks in wrestling over the years. Remember that one thing they had when he was like involved with Mae Young? And Mae Young was this old female wrestler from back in the day. She was like the original female wrestler. And I can only imagine the story she would have to tell. I don't even think she's alive anymore. But they had this relationship with Mark Henry and Mae Young, and then she ended up giving birth to a hand.
Nuts.
I wanted to talk to him a little bit about some of that Attitude Era stuff, but I don't think he really wanted to go down that road.
Okay.
I don't think he wanted to go on that road. I think he was just more happy of promoting the show on Saturday. But yeah, you said you were going to answer a question.
Well, first I want to tell you that there. Do you remember that really good-looking basketball player for YSU? I forget her name, but anyway, she got a NIL deal, and she got a contract with wrestling. She doesn't know how to wrestle.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
So
she could be starting up in that. That'll be interesting to see a local girl do the wrestling circuit.
That would be pretty cool.
Yep.
That would be pretty cool. But I do agree that wrestling seems to be making a big comeback here.
Yeah.
It's coming back strong again. But it's not going to be as edgy and as PG-13 as it was. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring up to Mark. Does he think that it's going to be, because let's face it, some of that stuff in the Attitude Era, I mean, there was some stuff on there that you really had to wonder, is this okay for kids? And there was, I know Bret the Hitman Hart, I know Roddy Piper, some of them old timers there, they weren't too happy with some of those storylines, the way they were going, and some of the language, and, kiss Vince McMahon's ass and that sort of thing. And I talked to even Jerry the King Lawler a while back when he was down here at the Covelli Center. We were talking about that. And he had said, even, now, with, because whenever the divas would come out, and they would be scantily clad, and they'd be in these tight tops, and the first thing he'd do is look at their breasts, and then he always goes, "Puppies!" And he says to this day, everywhere he goes, people go, "Jerry, say it, Jerry, puppies!" And I think there was some stuff in there that you don't see that was going on now. It's more like he was saying, a good guy, bad guy, blah blah blah. Where. I mean, there were some of them storylines that they took it pretty far out there, and Degeneration X. I'll tell you, he says he thinks that now is the best time, But I do think, and I've been a wrestling fan from day one. I was probably wrestling. I'm older than Mark Henry, so I was probably a wrestling fan a lot longer than he is. Right. And I've been around from when they used to wrestle in Cobo Arena in Detroit. That was the big thing, man. Boy, when they wrestled at Cobo Arena, and it was guys like Pompero Purpo, Bobo Brazil, guys like that. And we could barely get it in on our black and white TV. And we'd have a bullseye and some rabbit ears. And you'd be watching this stuff through the snow. You could just barely see it. And the picture is all fuzzy and everything. But man, and I think maybe that even added to it even more because, they do them things in Cobo Arena. That was always my dream as a young kid to go see a wrestling match in Cobo Arena. But then around here, we used to do them at Stamp Auditorium. Girard High School, they always used to have Bruno Sammartino and Dynamite Dominic DeNucci and those guys. And, so I've been a fan for a long time, but I still think the golden age, no matter what anybody wants to say, Stone Cold, The Rock, D-Generation X, all that stuff. I think that was.
You think that was the best era?
Yeah,
even better than Hogan, Piper, Andre.
Yeah. Well, they were still dabbling in it then, but that was fun too. I mean, I think that set it up, and I think once Monday Night Raw come on, and then once like I say, the Rock and Austin, I think that was just like. I don't know how much higher you could get. Absolutely. I mean, people would really be watching that every week, to see what The Rock was going to say and what was going to, when Austin came out with like the beer bath, when he had the beer truck and he was spraying everybody down and, but there was some good stuff there. Austin and Booker T and the supermarket match. Oh, that was a crazy one. When Austin stunnered Santa Claus. But then you had, just the balls out stuff too, like Undertaker and Mankind in the Hell in a Cell. I mean, that was so brutal. And, when Mick Foley come crashing down, 12 feet up on a bed of tacks and stuff like that. There was some good stuff there, So I personally think that the Attitude Era was the pinnacle. But there's a lot of good guys in wrestling right now that Roman Reigns, he's been around for a while. He's a pretty exciting guy. And CM Punk is still in there, and he's from Cleveland. And Cody Rhodes, he's like the big champion. And what's his name? John Cena just announced his retirement recently. And of course, it's hard to believe that he's at the point where he can retire. To me, John Cena was like the next level after the Attitude Era. That's
he's
when
made all his money. It's time.
Yeah. Seth Rollins is another good one. So there's still some exciting people out there, and I just think it's getting bigger. They're going to do SummerSlam in Cleveland this year at Cleveland Brown Stadium. And these things are selling out. Like I told Mark, my son was down at the Trop in St. Pete for, what was that? The Royal Rumble. Sold out, biggest crowd ever in the Trop. And, back in the day when they had the Igloo, the Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh, I used to love that place. Some people thought it was such a dump. I used to love the Igloo. And when they closed the Igloo, and they had like a list of like all the biggest events, the history of the biggest events at Mellon Arena, and it was like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and I think maybe 3 of them in the top 10 were wrestling events.
No way, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy though. But yeah, I've always been a wrestling fan. I haven't been following it as closely as I used to. I don't know where I got lost along the way. I think after the Attitude Era, then it kind of got a little wishy-washy and stuff.
Yeah, a little too much.
Yeah. But it's still good. It's still good. And I think it's coming back. You know what hurt wrestling, though, a lot, I think, was when MMA came out. And MMA was real ass beating. You know what I mean? I think that took away some of it took away some of the thunder or something of wrestling, I mean, it made it seem really sports entertainment because these guys are really kneeing somebody in the face, or these guys are really choking somebody out, or they're really
Yes.
punching them square in the face repeatedly, And I think that's what took away from wrestling at that. Now I think MMA might be kind of waning a little bit, and now you're seeing people just going back to. See, I'm not that big of an MMA fan. I just, you know why? I know what it's like to get like kneed in the face or something, and to just sit there and see somebody just
Yeah.
pummeled like that. It's like, you know what? It's kind of funny. We're talking about that because I saw one on Today in History. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Today in History, 135 years ago today, 1889. The last bare knuckle world heavyweight boxing championship. John L. Sullivan took on some guy in Mississippi. Jake Karen was the guy's name. 75 rounds of bare knuckle boxing.
Damn.
75 rounds.
That's got to be a record. That is amazing.
And you know why they stopped it? You know why they stopped bare knuckle wrestling?
Why?
Well, you would think maybe because people were getting their brains battered out and stuff like that, and because people were breaking their hands. There were too many broken hands, so that's why they ended up doing it. So, can you imagine a 75-round bare knuckle fight?
That's like an hour and a half of nothing but
and that's back when they had the Dukes up,
Yeah.
and that's probably what it was. They, probably after a while, it was just like who's standing there and who's like throwing a punch
drunk kind of thing.
Yeah. Is this going to be the last punch? I'm sure that by round 75, they weren't doing rope-a-dopes and dancing around and stuff. I'm sure it was just kind of toe to toe with that. Yeah.
Couldn't imagine.
Yes. Yeah, Barb says Stone Cold was badass. He was. Stone Cold, The Rock. Remember all that? After every Monday Night Raw, the next day, everybody was, even when we were on the radio, everybody, finally, The Rock has come back to Cleveland. Or, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, or, checking in, the SmackDown Hotel and, jabronis and just that whole thing, and then of course, Austin and drinking beers and, and it's kind of funny how he got started with that 316. He took on Jake the Snake, and at that Jake the Snake, there's another one. That guy is out there. Jake the Snake has had some serious issues over the years. As a matter of fact, if you remember, he got arrested for DUI one time. They did a little wrestling show at one of the rib burn-offs, and Jake got arrested for DUI in Girard. And I guess he was pulling down his pants and telling the crowd to kiss his ass and stuff like that. But that's what happened then on WWE. Jake, when he was turning Christian, he's going to get away from the dark side and the snake and all that and the evil. And then that's when Austin said, Austin 316 says, I just kicked your ass. And then that just went on, and that just launched the whole thing. It just took off from there. And then it just went through, to wherever. But yeah, I'll tell you, I used to have fun at wrestling all the time. Struthers Fieldhouse was another place, Stamp Auditorium. And then, they used to do some of the cheaper, lower rent shows, those were always funny. But what's crazy about that? Because sometimes you would see some guy, well, I'll give you an example. They had one of those shows at Packard Music Hall. It was kind of like an independent show, wasn't WWE. And Mick Foley was there. He was Cactus Jack at the time. And he went from Cactus Jack to the WWE and Mick Foley and Mankind and Dude Love in like overnight. And he was there, doing his shooting the guns and everything. And then the next thing you know, boom, he was there.
National stage.
Yeah.
Right here.
And I remember another time they had this one, and it was, what's his name? the Hammer. I think Ken the Hammer Valentine, was that his first name? And he was in a cage match, and they had this cage set up so rinky dink. I swear I thought it was going to fall into the stands and crush everybody. But that was a good one. I remember one of the first wrestling matches I saw at Packard Music Hall. That was another one. Mr. Wonderful was there, Paul Orndorff. And there was these kids over there. They were like teenagers, and he comes out. And they just start going, hey, Mr. Wonderful, you're a punk. You're a punk ass dude, Mr. Wonderful. You're a punk ass. And one kid reaches over and he pushes Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful slams them both. Next thing you know, the cops grab these two kids and just throw them right out the back door.
Holy shit.
That's one of my favorite wrestling moments.
Oh.
Another time we had this, another one of those like independent shows where they would have wrestlers that were similar to the WWE guys. So if they had Stone Cold Steve Austin, they had Stone Cold's brother, even colder, and
Chinese
stuff like
knockoffs.
that. Yeah. Chinese knockoffs. Exactly. So they had these guys. And I remember one time we were over there and they had a Divas match, and we had Hubcap was like supposedly like one of the managers, and I was the other manager. And he was disrespecting the women. And so I'm supposed to hit him over the head with a chair to make that. And so and I told Hubcap, he goes, you could hit me kind of hard with that. See, I never do that kind of stuff because I'm not the kind of, I hit you kind of hard guy, because you don't know how hard is too hard. You know what I mean?
Right? And you don't want to make it look obviously fake.
Right, right. So he goes, go ahead. He goes, yeah, go ahead and hit me. And, he goes, but you could give a little bit. So I hit him over the head with this chair. Well, it turns out that the chair I hit him with wasn't a like fake chair.
Oh no.
It was a real 1950s heavy wooden folding chair with a metal bar on the seat. And I hit Hubcap over the head with this thing. Bam! And he had a baseball hat on. The thing on the little thing goes right into his head. He's out, and blood is just pouring down his face.
Oh my goodness!
And wrestler Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster. Kevin Sullivan after that said that was the best chair shot he had ever seen. And it was me and Hubcap. And I felt bad because he was out, and then there was like this guy, he was like a medic in Vietnam. They followed the wrestlers. He was part of the wrestling troupe with Even Colder and the Chinese knockoffs and everybody. And, who was another knockoff? He crazy glued Hubcap's head back together, and he was okay after a while.
Right.
But anyways, then they had Doink the Clown. Remember they had Doink the Clown? Well, every independent, low-rate Chinese knockoff wrestling had a Doink the Clown. If there was any masked character, they all had one, so it didn't matter. And some of those are even funnier, though. Some of those matches are the best. One of the last ones that was like that was with Roddy Piper at the Covelli Center. And this was right before Roddy Piper died. And this was that story about Roddy Piper. Remember, we had 500 million. I think that interview clip was what got me the DJ of the Year award. Really? Best DJ of all time award. I think it was that clip that did it. That overrode my punctuality and my things like that.
Thank you, Roddy.
Yes. Roddy Piper was looking down. Hey, Bill Hubbard's checking in. He moved out in Boardman in 1975. Hi, Bill. Good to have you along. Good to hear from you.
And Keith says, when are we going to have him on as a guest? And
I think he wants you on. I think he wants on your show. I don't think he wants to mess with me. I think he wants on the real show here.
The real show.
I think that's who he's talking about.
Keith, you get in touch with me and we'll hook you up.
Yeah,
They're not
you know what? That's the thing. You and BJ are like really cutting in on my, I saw he had Chris Jericho. Speaking of wrestlers, BJ had Chris Jericho on the other day, not too long ago. He had the Vindies on, and you guys are, I used to be the king of the podcast. Now I'm like, you know, but I'm still the king of the DJs.
You got
know.
the award. We
I
got no
yeah.
awards.
Where's your award?
We got
huh?
none.
Where's yours? You got one, huh?
0.
Do you got one? No, you got a certificate that says so? I don't think so.
Nope, not accredited at all.
Yeah.
But so Keith, get in touch with me. We'll get you on whatever show. Come down here with Freddie, and we'd love to see some of your pieces that you've done recently. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. But then it's probably going to hit me up for free tickets for something. So I don't know. He probably thinks he got a better chance at free tickets with you. I think that's what
he's hit you up too many times. You already got the red marker.
No, you know what though? It's hard for us to give away free tickets like we used to. You know, I mean, they account for every single ticket. It's electronically. I mean, you know, back in the day, they would just give us a stack of tickets and say, go out there wherever, you know. If you're at bike night, here's six pairs of tickets to Tesla. You know, here's 4 pairs of tickets to whatever, you know. So you know, it's pretty funny, but yeah, it's not like that anymore.
No.
You know, they well, you know what it would happen to is because the record industry has dried up so much, and you know, especially for the classic rock people, that's the only way they make money now. You know, well, they get their royalties from radio airplay, and some of those people are still making huge amounts of money. Can you imagine the check that Journey gets every month, even if they have to split it 5 ways? Do you realize how much that check must be just for Don't Stop Believing for a month, what they get?
Airplay commercials, like miniseries, like it's everywhere.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, and for a while there was these, what happened is there's some of these big corporations now are buying up all these catalogs from these classic rock artists for extraordinary amount of money. You know, some people go, oh, these guys are selling out or whatever. So now there was this push going on a while ago. I haven't heard too much about it, where they wanted to up the royalty fees. And there was something with the royalty fees. And they made this thing like, oh, the musicians aren't getting paid and whatever. And see, it's probably these big guys that own these catalogs that want to get more money back on their investment. But the thing is, believe me when I tell you, Journey, the songwriters make the most money out of it. The way the publishing business is set up, the songwriters make the most money. If your name is on the songwriters, you're making the big money. The publishers make the most money. So the people that write their own songs make the most money. And they made it seem like, oh, these poor guys, these studio musicians are working and they're not getting paid and this and that. Well, first of all, if you're a studio musician, you get paid by the job. Okay. So that's not even a thing. And for the people that aren't getting paid, it's their fault because they probably made the wrong publishing deals. You know, even if you're like, say you didn't write the song, but you're a mega star that's going to make that song big, you should probably have your name put on there as a co-writer somewhere.
Right.
You know, you should get some kind of co-writing. This is how the mob used to rip people off and stuff. A lot of rip-offs went on in the royalties through the publishing rights, you know, and the publishing rights is number one. So these guys, they're out there making this thing like, oh, you know, radio stations got to pay more money. Radio stations have been paying the most money in royalties from day one. Radio, it's Spotify, it's YouTube, it's all these other people that aren't paying their fair share. You see some of my friends, they'll put something on Spotify and they got to get 1,000 downloads and they get a check for $2 or something. So you know, but these people were making it seem like, oh, radio is ripping off all these musicians. And some people were feeling bad, like, oh, let me tell you something. Steve Perry from Journey has not missed a paycheck. The guys from Def Leppard, Joe Elliott, has not missed a paycheck. Roger Waters and David Gilmour from Pink Floyd have not missed a paycheck. Bob Dylan has not missed a paycheck. and they were making this out to seem like, oh, these guys are getting ripped off. The poor guys are still, but it's really the guys that are behind the publishing that bought all these catalogs that want more money and ask radio to pay more money. We have been paying from day one. Radio has been paying from day one, from BMI and ASCAP, and we send a check to them every month. And they even monitor nationwide, and especially now with computers, they know every song that every radio station in America plays.
Yep.
It's all, and all they got to do is push a button and they see Don't Stop Believin' was played 850 billion times. And then whatever they get for that, a nickel each time, boom.
Cha-ching.
And then the check goes out.
Yep.
And radio has been paying that from day one. And radio has also helped establish these people, become concert, radio's helped establish all these guys. It was a radio airplay that helped these guys along. And then for them to sit there and say, oh, radio got to pay more. It's like bullshit. We've been paying from day one. Yep. And we are still paying, and we send a check out every month, and it's bigger than Spotify, and it's bigger than anybody else that's out there, but that just pissed me off. But that's the thing. If these guys are making money, the Rod Stewart is not getting chipped out of a nickel. You know what? Billy Idol is still getting paid for Rebel Yell and Moni Moni and White Wedding, Billy Squire's still getting a check for The Stroke. I guarantee it. A sizable one, Queen, Brian May is still making money. But this gets back to the thing where we were talking about tickets, because now they don't have the record sales like they used to. So the record sales aren't out there. So the only thing they got going now is concerts, which is one reason the concert prices are up there a little bit more, and between the concert tickets and the merchandise. And that's why that's why it's $50 for a t-shirt.
Yep. And
$50 for a ticket. It's because they're not selling records like they used to. If they were selling records like they were, then it would, so this is how they got to make money. So that's why we don't get the free tickets like we used to. Before it just used to be.
Yeah, they needed filled coliseums. Now they need paid seats and paid butts in the.
Oh yeah. And then that's how they have the meet and greets, and you're paying for this and you're paying for that and you're paying for the premier seats. And I like back in the old day. Well, the Belkin Club, that used to be good. If you were a member of the Belkin Club for like $20 a month or something, you would get in on the front row seats. And for. At a normal price, which they're probably going for $20, $30 back then, front row for Led Zeppelin at the Richfield Coliseum in 1974 was probably $30 maybe, and there wasn't scalpers, and everybody was fans and they wanted to be there. There was no way you got that front row seat. You weren't giving it up for nothing, you got that because you wanted to be there, because you were a fan. And now it seems like that's all changed too. Now I think that it goes a little differently, but so that's all that has changed so much. It's crazy, but
I see Voodoo Man over there.
Yeah, the Voodoo Man's checking in. Hogs, what's going on? Mike Glorioso. Mike's a good friend of mine. I'll tell you, Mike's a DJ, and he always comes up with all kind of great stuff for me. He's a big music dude. That's right. He says, show me award, guys. Come on, let's see it. Yeah. Yeah. You might have had Chris Jericho on. Where's your award?
He didn't ask for it. I would have shown.
Yeah. So, but no, my whole thing is I just can't do this podcast enough to dedicate the time. But no, you guys are doing good, and I think BJ is really doing good too, man. I think if you're looking for a good podcast, BJ Lisco here at Youngstown Studio. BJ, entertainment writer and editor. He's got a band. He's in the band Turbo Lovers. He's very knowledgeable. And, he recently did Chris Jericho and the Vindies and a couple other people. And he's on the ball. He's got some interesting ones. And Joe, you never know what he's going to be talking about. He's got about 5 different podcasts. So, yeah, you can take care of Keith Sturgeon on that one.
Yeah,
I'm not going to,
And BJ's a great interviewer too.
Yes, he is.
Very professional.
Yeah,
Very straight
yeah.
line.
And him being a musician, and he does a good job interviewing the musicians too, I think. Because
Absolutely.
he knows. Are you ready to wrap this thing up?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, you know what? I nursed this whole beer for this whole thing. That's bad.
You were supposed to drink my part too. You
Yeah,
didn't even get through your
I
part.
was. Well, you know what? After you said you're off the sauce and off the caffeine, but now I got to pick up my game. I guess I got a little more room. I got a little more wiggle room. I've been thinking about, I probably got back off the caffeine. Now, when I hear you eight espressos a day,
See,
I feel like a lightweight.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to join you and I'm going to give up the sauce and caffeine too. But you went the other direction. You're like, you're going to double that shit up.
Well, the caffeine, anyways, I got a lot of wiggle room there. I thought I was on the, high end, but I guess
You're
I'm
not.
not.
No,
I'm not even like in the game. Maybe that's why I'm still kind of dragging. I need another one. I got to kick that up to 2 or 3.
Get a couple of Jaeger and what's that?
Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, Jaeger bomb.
Jaeger and Red Bull.
Red Bull will do it.
Yeah. Carl Galterio checking in too. Another South Sider, my man Carl. One of the toughest football players in the history of Wilson High School, right there. Carl Galterio, man. Good dude. And hope to see him. I'll see him out there somewhere. Always good to see him. I'll tell you, when us Southside guys get together, man, it's always a good time. Always a good time. So anyways, I got to kick up my caffeine game. I'm glad I stopped by today because I didn't realize I was lagging so far behind.
I gotta say that if you kick up your caffeine and your ticker bombs out, I'm gonna feel so bad.
Oh, that's
so I'm gonna put a stipulation.
You know what?
Don't do
that.
it.
You know what? That's my problem though. With the ticker, I don't want to. That's why I
stay right where you're at. I'll feel better knowing that I wasn't responsible for your ticker given out.
All right, I might dabble. I might experiment. I might experiment. Maybe. What if I just got a double? Got the iced coffee, but what if I double up on the espresso, but just one? What if I kick it up one more espresso shot?
Why don't you do the espresso shot later in the day? Let your heart rate come down. Bulking up in that area, that's probably bad. I don't want to do that.
You don't want to hit it right there.
No,
and then usually, and when I get like an iced coffee, the reason I drink an iced coffee is so I could drink it like Popeye eats spinach. Like, and it's done. I could pull out of the Dunkin' Donuts and get to the second red light on Salt Springs, and it's done.
Yeah, don't.
And
add
then
any
I'm
more
like,
espresso.
Yeah.
And your muscles grow, and you feel that boost of energy.
Yeah.
Don't put any more in. Just maybe have a second one a little bit later in the day.
Go for the second one, or maybe just get a small coffee and get. But you know what? Dunkin' gets you because you got the small, the medium, the large. And the price difference between them is so it's so minimal. I think like the medium is like what, $2.49, or it's probably more than that. Well, a large iced coffee with a shot of espresso is like $5. So I think the next one down is like $4.75 or something, $4.50. So you look at it and go, okay, why, what, and then the small is like.
It's the freaking movie theater thing. Like for 50 cents more, you can get a large popcorn. That's the worst because it's hard to say no. It's twice the freaking size.
Yeah, the small one is $3 and the huge one is $7. You go, well, why would I spend, or no, it's closer. It's like the huge one is like $7 and then the little one is like $5.
Yes.
And you're looking at it, you're going, why would I pay $5 for this when I could get this?
A whole bucket.
Yeah, I could get a bucket and a cup for an extra $2. So why am I doing that?
They get you, man.
They do. They know what they're doing. That's why my mom always say that. They'll get you. That's one of my mom's favorite sayings. They'll get you.
Yep.
That's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie, you better watch out. They're going to get you. That's
Street
how
smarts.
they
That's
get
what
you.
you need. Street smarts.
So, okay. And now you got me thinking. I'll let you know how I go.
Well, what time do you wake up in the morning? In the afternoon, or?
I usually start my day noonish.
Okay, so
sometimes my first coffee isn't until 1.
Okay, so 1 o'clock you're at Dunkin' drive-thru.
Yeah,
and then you go straight to work after that.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're on the air.
Yeah.
What time are you on the air until? Or at the station?
6:30, 7-ish.
Oh,
But
see-
then at 6:30 though, then I go to the bike nights.
Between work and the bike nights, go through Dunkin' again and get the same drink, but it's delayed 6 hours, 7 hours. Do that.
But that's when I start drinking though.
Am I going to mess up? You don't want your stomach filled with caffeine at that point?
That's my no. Now see, then I don't know if I want to have that. You know what I really like? I'll tell you what I really like, and this is my favorite, is iced coffee, shot of espresso, and 2 shots of either Bailey's or rum cheddar coconut rum.
You found your answer, bud. That's what you do. Then you get best of both worlds. You don't have to make any sacrifices.
Yeah, but I do that, but I still do. I do that twice though. Do I kick that up? Now you know what? I got to cut back on the drinking. I got to cut back on the drinking a little bit. You know, when you're out like me, a lot, in every place that I go, why do they have to cheapen these events with alcohol? Do they have to cheapen bike night with alcohol?
Freddie the Puritan. I knew this was going to come out.
Do they have to have people there with vape pens and edibles? Do they have to have, and then
What
with
is
the wet
happening right
t-shirts, can't we just go there and have fun without, dumping water on women's breasts and drinking shots and
Being loud.
and why do they do that? Why do they have to do that?
I'm stunned right now because I don't know what to make of this.
All right. Well, let's wrap things up. But I got to experiment with the coffee now because I thought I was way down on the list. I mean, I thought I was up there. I'm not even
Close.
I'm not even in the ballpark. I'm gonna experiment, but not at your expense, and you don't have to feel guilty.
Okay,
if my ticker
I did
goes.
nothing.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
But I want to take notes. So like write down what you end up drinking so we can like kind of analyze this next time we meet.
Yeah. I'm taking all kinds of notes because I started with a health coach this week, so I got to work on that. So,
and like a nutritionist.
Yeah, nutritionist,
Okay.
fitness.
What does the nutritionist feel about your alcohol consumption?
You know what? I know what I got to do. It's just being able to do it. No, you know what they said? It's like with the caffeine. They said, you know what? I think you need more sodium. You're lacking sodium. You probably could use a little more alcohol, maybe a little bit more sugar in there.
Okay.
A few more carbs, and crank that caffeine up. Like
that's what
triple.
they said.
Yeah, that's exactly
My
what they
goodness.
said. Yeah.
Where did you find this nutritionist?
Yeah. Carbs, sodium, alcohol. Oh, fatty foods too. They
Saturated
suggest,
fats, especially.
Yeah. They want you to get that fatty food in there.
Okay.
A little more
sugar,
fast food. Yeah. A little more grease. A little more trans fats, some things like that. And they think I'll be on the road to fitness here before you know it.
Was this like a referral from one of your friends that is a nutrition? Did you check their license, make sure that they practice this?
Okay. Mike Gloriosa says, if I woke up at 7:00 every day, this would be different. You just run out of time. That's my problem. Yes. Okay. Please share this nutritionist. People like how they think. I'm on a new thing. I think I'm going to be my own guru. And I'll sit here. I'll be like Bert Krishner with my shirt unbuttoned. I'll sit here with no shirt on. And then we'll just sit here and I'll just, show you how this works. And then we'll follow it and we'll see.
This has got tragedy written all over it, man.
And I'll have and now they got this blood pressure monitor that hooks up directly to them and a scale. They have an E scale. Or an I scale, Apple scale, whatever it is.
With that diet, what's the goal? Is it to increase your blood pressure?
Increase,
just to kill you as quick as possible.
That's how they want to do it. They figure, why should we insure you if we could get rid of you? Why do we keep you on here?
So cheaper.
Yeah, let's encourage this guy to drink more.
If he's not going to buy the pharmaceuticals, let's get rid of him.
You know what? You know what? Right. And if this guy, they also suggest that I take up smoking. They said They said, you're a non-smoker? I said, yeah. They said, what's wrong with you? And they said, especially now at your age, you could, you didn't do this damage. Say you started smoking, you were 15, you were puffing Marlboros all this time. So now you could jump in on that, get that nicotine, and maybe you could counterbalance a little bit of the caffeine with the nicotine.
Yeah, you're way behind. People's
Yeah.
cigarette allocation
Right,
so
right,
much. If
right,
you've got
right,
zero.
right.
On yours.
Yeah, my cigarette allocation is 0. So now I could just start pack a day, and it probably, if it take 10 years to catch up, I'll probably be dead anyway. So I might as well enjoy it.
Do I have to lay things out like chicken wings and beer and a piss bucket and right next to you when you're doing this?
Yeah.
It's going to get complicated.
Yeah. And we're going to do this. If Mike's in, I'm sure there are other people out there that would follow me for my nutrition advice. All right, let's wrap this up. I thought, you know what? I said, okay, we're going to do about a 40-minute show here. We're going to do a quick half hour. We'll talk to Mark Henry. We'll go. But
we just went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Happens sometimes.
The wrestling and everything else. So anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's see. I'll run down my schedule here real quick. Let's see. Tomorrow, Tuesday, Ice House in Austintown. Wednesday, hopefully, weather permitting, wet t-shirt contest, bike night at the Yankee Lake. Thursday night, we got bike night at Quaker Steak and Lube in Austintown. The band Tees will be there. Friday, I'm going to get on my health and fitness kick. I'm going to drink 8 espresso shots to see what I was missing out on. Well, you know what? I'll hit the 8 and then I'll back off. Why don't I go right up to the top and then back off? Because maybe 8 isn't quite enough. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do on Friday. Saturday, I should have mentioned this earlier in the show. Saturday, it is Shorty's Chicken Roast at the Castle in Leavittsburg with the Brothers Regime. This is an all-day, all-night biker party. All the food and all the beer you can handle, camping, and a lot of fun. Anatomy contest, old school biker fun. Come on out and join that. Sunday, I will probably be in rehab. I think my insurance company and my fitness coach are going to come out there and drag me out. And then Monday, back to work. Tuesday, we'll go back to the Ice House. Wednesday, we'll go back to Yankee Lake. Thursday, we'll go back to Lube. I'm sure I got a couple of poker runs coming up in there somewhere. Oh, it's about time. You're too late. Jaybird finally makes it down. Should we have him in for a second?
Go for it.
We've gone downhill. So, all right, hold on. Let me go answer the door. You're just probably admiring my physique here, too. All right, here we go. We're back. I think you did that to lock me out.
I think so.
Do you ever see this on a podcast before where the host just gets up and goes and answers the door? Then his co-host, let's get Jaybird in here. Here you go. Grab that mic there. We'll put Jaybird on. You just got here as I'm getting ready to wrap up, man. This is the end. Where have you been? You've been at McGilla's?
Oh, dude, the best wings in Austin.
That's what we were just talking about. That's what I need to my nutritionist suggested more chicken wings.
I'm telling you, what a good little bar. Little.
Yeah, it's run off 4 Mile Run Road, right off of Meridian.
Yes.
Yep. Good place. I forget what it used to be. It used to be a couple of different places, but
it's been McGilla's
for a long time now. Yeah,
1979.
Since 79? No way.
Yeah, when I graduated,
it was still McGilla's then?
Yes.
All right, you're West Side Austintown, so I'm going to take your word for it.
What a nice little place.
All right,
good time.
So what's going on, man? We haven't been out riding. We haven't been doing dick. What's happening, man?
Dude, we really need to go down and hit Hog Heaven.
I know, Keith and them guys went down there this past weekend.
Yeah, and I didn't get to make that ride either myself. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. We got to get to Hog Heaven. We've already been up to
Cougar
Bob's, but that was it, man. We haven't been to a lot of we haven't been down to the Bullpen. We haven't been down to Luann's. You know, we're
I've
lacking.
been to Luann. I'm one up on you on that one.
Okay. All right. I don't think I've even been to Geneva yet.
No, I haven't been up to Geneva yet myself, honestly.
And you know what? I'm looking on Facebook, and all our friends are going here and there, and I'm seeing there. And Russo and these guys are over there. You know, Keith and these guys are down there. These guys, people are in Presque Isle, they're in Erie, and I'm sitting there. I'm going, okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah. What are we doing wrong?
I know. Usually by this time, you know, we're like out and about.
Yeah, and.
Wet T-shirt Wednesday, hopefully, if it doesn't rain again.
No, we got a 60% chance of rain, dude. We ain't seeing no boobs this Wednesday, not at all.
Well, maybe speak for yourself. Maybe some of these women need to. Hey, Vicky's checking in. Hi, Vicky. Vicky was out at the rally at Route 46. We had a good time.
Now, wasn't that a really good time?
Yes, it was.
Dude, it is growing growing.
They're making the right moves. I'll tell you, if the weather didn't suck on Saturday, it would have been a different story. And Sunday, how about Sunday? We do the bikini contest.
How about that lady that won, dude?
Oh, yeah.
I think 3 square inches might have taken care of everything she had on.
2 Band-Aids and a cork, man.
It would have covered more. Just saying. Oh, was that not something else? I'm telling you.
You know what?
Is.
But it got so weird because at 5 o'clock, it was sunny. It was nice. All of a sudden, the wind started blowing. And then it got freezing cold. And then
I should have had the bikini contest right then.
Yes. Right. Exactly. Poor planning. But then it was like, there was like this rain and mist. It was almost like it was snowing. It was like, what the hell is going on here? And I think Monday was nice. And
but that party on 46 there at the Harley shop, dude, it is growing so much every year. Leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah.
And every year, better bands, better entertainment.
Yeah. If the weather would have held out, we would have had the Kiss band, we had the Guns N' Roses band. And it's heading in the right direction without a doubt.
I'm heading down to Nashville on 20th.
Are you?
Def Leppard.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go see Jelly Roll or somebody.
I drank Jelly Roll last time.
The dude that threw the chair off the top of the bar. What the heck is his name? Vicky would know. Vicky used to be the biggest Rolling Stones fan and the biggest rocker, and now she discovered country, and she's just like, oh, you got to listen to this guy. You got to listen to this guy. Should know the guy that threw Morgan Wallen. There you go. I told you should know. What did I say? I say? Yeah, Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the chair hit Jelly Roll and bounced back up on the top 7 stories high.
That was on Broadway.
Oh yeah. So I hear that Nashville is the cool place to party and stuff.
It's really expensive, but boy, you never know who you're gonna run into when you're in them bars. I drank for my birthday with Luke Bryan.
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna start calling you Tex. No kidding, Tex.
Tex and Kotex, my partner.
There's a joke like that, but I'm not even going to say it. Fortunately, since Joe's on the wagon, we didn't drink any whiskey earlier. I would have had a couple of.
There you go.
I would have had a couple of sayings on that. All right, so that's the plan. Ice House tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Okay, wet T-shirt Wednesday. But I think you know
60%
what.
60%.
We're going through. Remember that one year it rained every single Wednesday at the Lube in Sharon, and then we did one where it rained every Tuesday
Thursday,
at the Ice House. Yeah.
For Quaker and Austin.
Yeah.
What comes around goes around. Each one of them's getting their band year.
So we got the band Tease Thursday. Vicky, come on out. Come on out. We got a band Thursday.
Can you believe the bands that Quaker has put off this year?
Oh, yeah.
Let alone
Huck and Philbillies, Blue Siren. You got to love Jen and Blue Siren, man. You can't go wrong with them.
I mean, honest to God, they are really stepping
They
up.
are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And it's showing.
If we could go back to the old bike games and stuff and just it's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, even the slow races. The last slow race we did, we had 12 people. We had 12 people. So
We got to get Kimmy in there. Again,
yeah, she backed out. I think she was afraid of rodeo. I think she was afraid of rodeo.
What was it? Croc?
Yeah, with the Crocs. Rodeo's a buddy of ours, and he did the slow race on a motorcycle at bike night wearing Crocs.
Yeah,
Either that took a lot of balls, or you just, or did you just give up, or
give up? No, he still won even in Crocs.
Yes, he did. That's even worse. What if the guy in Crocs beat you in the slow race, man?
How much do you know about slow racing? I can do that stuff all the way up to a red light.
Yeah.
But
why is that?
Let me start at the beginning there. Dude, I would dump my bike so fast.
Well, that has nothing to do with that. That might be edibles. I'm thinking more edibles. That has nothing to do with that.
That's a whole nother show. You have to come.
Right.
I just made plans to go to Michigan. And we'll do an edibles show, and we'll show people what.
Okay.
This stuff's all
You know where else I hear they got them at now is the Seneca Indian Reservation. They got all these little rinky-dink gas stations, and every one of them sells stuff, man. Around here they want to make it. Well, we're going to have one place in this. You go to the Seneca Indian Reservation, and it is like every place has it. There's not nobody. And some of it is just like, you don't even know. It's just like in a bag. Here, we made these here. We make them. It's like
some brownies.
Yeah, you know what? It's like a craft show. It's like homemade jellies and jams and stuff. That's what they got there. Here you go. These are 10 Brothers.
And I'm just a crafty person.
Yeah.
I went to the Good Health store out in California. I have never been in such great health after walking out of that place.
Well, you got to get on my health and fitness team. I was just helping everybody here with my diet and nutrition advice here.
Needles, California.
All right.
Good Health store. Oh my God,
man.
Dude. I was so healthy when I come out of there.
You're talking about going to Michigan, and like I said, seeing it at the Seneca Indian Reservation, how they sell it there, like every store, it's every single gas station has something along with their fireworks. They got the fireworks and the edibles. Okay. And so, and then you see these guys around here. Oh, we're putting a moratorium on it for a year. The people voted for it, first of all. Okay. Everybody voted for it. But then I want to see some of these guys go to Seneca, go to Detroit and see how they sell it there and stuff. And then you'll look at it different.
The
not like
money made in taxes on it. We are missing out, honestly. The more they drag their feet, the more they're
going to screw it up. And especially like in Niles. Okay. Well, we're going to start with just one. Okay. You start with one. What are the prices going to be at that place?
And see that,
what are the prices going to be? If you only got one store to go to, the prices are going to be through the roof.
My doctor, when he gave me the script, told me
hold it. I just want you to know this is medical advice from a doctor.
Yes.
Continue on. I just wanted to point that out here real quick. So
my
medical advice with a doctor.
He gave me the script and he told me, he says, Jay, if you're going to do this, he said, you need to go to Michigan because in Michigan, it's been out for a while. So you're not going to pay what you are in Ohio. So I was getting 2 for the price of 1 in Michigan. And I'll tell you, them guys got it down, dude. I will tell you what.
There's this one place called the Flower Bowl on Michigan Avenue, and there is a line around this building all day long. They have 3 lanes of takeout. You could order online and get the takeout, and they have a lot of armed guards and stuff around there too. And we need to go up there. You just pull up there and they bring it out to you in a bag.
We need to go up there with a
lot of money, a truck and some money and a lot of money.
We will make hand over fist dollars.
Oh, okay. So we'll do the munchie truck sitting outside. Then with the profits we make, we'll load up the truck and bring it back to Ohio and buy product.
Take care of all of our friends.
Right. With the discounted prices because it'll be cheaper up there than we got here. It's like these guys that do fireworks at this time of year. You see these guys come in with like a van or a panel truck, and they just load it full of shit, and they take it out to places, especially like in New York City. They pull down some street, and they just start selling that stuff right out of the back of the truck.
Shit, dude. Cross Bronx Expressway.
Boy, good thing you stopped by. I was ready to wrap up this show. Now we got this business plan going here. You see how the wheels turn here? This is Joe's creative.
Here.
This is Joe's creative think tank. That's what he likes. Joe likes this.
Subliminally, he sent me a message. Come down here.
You got ideas on how to make money with Michigan
Dude,
weed.
I got lots of
This sounds like a
ideas.
Cheech and Chong movie to begin with. We're gonna all right, let's wrap this up. I thought I was going to come in here for a half hour. We're going to do the wrestling interview and get done. And now here it is an hour and a half later, and I'm still like, but you know what? I don't see.
Who did you have from wrestling?
Mark Henry, sexual chocolate.
Oh, dude, it's world's strongest man.
Yeah, the world's strongest man. Yeah.
What? Ric Flair's daughter is coming back after ACL surgery.
Oh yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch the pay-per-view this weekend?
No.
Oh, dude.
I'm telling you, wrestling's coming back.
I loved it so much. Yes, they can say what they want, but it's great entertainment.
It is.
You were buddies with Dude Love.
Yeah. Yeah. Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when they used to come to Wyatt?
Oh yeah. That was back in the day, and we used to broadcast from backstage, and everybody would come in there, and I would bring my son and a couple of his buddies, and my son met every single wrestler out there. And actually, my son should be down here doing a podcast for wrestling, because he's going to SummerSlam. He was down at the Royal Rumble in St. Pete. He's been to 2 or 3 WrestleManias.
What is coming up in Cleveland? Is it
SummerSlam? Yeah. And they're going to do a Monday Night Raw, and then they're going to do SummerSlam, or they're going to do SummerSlam and then Monday Night Raw.
Oh, what a good time. I just love going and watching.
Oh, me too. I went to WrestleMania in Detroit when The Undertaker came back. And it was crazy. Even though you can't see shit, it's still the vibe, and everybody, it is just how everybody gets so pumped up and so fired up for that. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody's just like, yeah.
It is just something that it gets your adrenaline going.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to have a couple beers while you're watching this stuff.
And that was in Michigan, and I was with my son, and it wasn't that time, so there was no dispensaries there.
Oh.
But you know what? For wrestling, I don't think you want the edibles. I think you want to stick with the alcohol for a while to keep that adrenaline. I don't think you want to.
Stone Cold 316. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's sit and slam some beers with
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, 2 at a time and just pour them on your face. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I wish I could open my throat up and do that stuff. But I'm getting old, and
the old throat ain't opening the way it used to.
No, things just are not functioning properly anymore. But it all depends.
Yeah. We're getting closer to that too. I was in Mark's the other day, and I had to take a picture of this because the people on the disposable diaper boxes looked way younger than me. And I'm walking by and I'm looking at that and I'm going,
just boost your
it's like,
ego.
Yeah, it's like, well, you know what? Maybe I took it the wrong way. Maybe I should have felt good. That, these guys, look at these whippersnappers that need a Depends, and I don't need that yet.
It depends.
Yeah.
But
when
you're younger,
and it's all a personal choice. If it gets to the point where you really don't care if you have a little bit, a little brown stain in your pocket, in your pants or something, it all depends on how much you can take. What's your limit? Maybe you got one little round little beaner in there, and it doesn't bother you. You don't care. But then maybe
just wear them dark clothes, dude.
Right.
Nobody's
It probably depends on the size of the load as it goes on. You probably hit that point where you're going, oh, okay, that's just a skid mark or something. And then where you reach that point where you're like, I think
this
ain't working.
Farts creep up on you, and all of a sudden your pants are loaded.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just like really embarrassing.
See, that's how you know you're starting to get old too, because them little, it starts with just those little farts creeping out that you can't stop, you know? Nothing like a big ripper or anything, but all of a sudden it's just like you're and you go, I couldn't stop that from coming out. And then you're thinking, uh-oh.
And next thing you know, you're the Cottonelle bunny.
Exactly. All right. You should have been here at the beginning of the show. This might went in a different direction. All right. Listen, thanks everybody for coming out. Once again, tomorrow night, Ice House in Austintown. Wednesday night, it's looking shaky. We have the wet t-shirt scheduled for Yankee Lake. Thursday night will be over at Quaker Steak and Lube in Austintown. We have the Tease is going to be the band. And then Saturday, I'll be out at the Brothers Regime Castle in Leavittsburg. It's the annual Shorty's Chicken Roast.
Yes.
And that's all day, all night, all fast Freddy and anatomy contest and old school biker games and pole in the hole and all weenie bite and all that stuff. So, and then, like I say, Sunday, probably rehab, maybe Monday.
Rehab's for quitters.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind.
I have no intention.
All right, we'll be at happy hour. Who's got a good happy hour Monday? Hey, did you find your Italian sub yet?
No, I really need to know.
We should have did
best
that.
place in town to have an Italian sub and an ice cold beer. Try and find that somewhere in Youngstown.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Hamlin.
Listen, we have fireworks going on. There we go. Hey, I think the state law is the Tuesday after the 4th of July is the cutoff before you're considered white trash, right? Tuesday after, like July 8th, 9th. As long as they don't catch my Christmas decorations on fire, I don't give a shit.
Dude, we seriously,
Okay.
we really need to go in search of the best Italian sub and cold beer, because there is no bar in this area that I have found yet. I've been looking, believe me, trust me.
I can imagine. I would.
It's become a thing of the past. And I mean, when it's 90 degrees, do you really want to eat something warm for dinner?
No.
I would rather have that cold sub and cold beer.
Yeah.
You know?
See what Don says?
Oh, Vienna Ale House and Brothers Pizza. Great subs and beer. And hey, Marlo's checking in. Hi, Marlo. How are you?
But yeah, I mean, I have been looking all over, and,
Okay.
and I've been in search for the past.
Okay,
2
Vienna
years.
Ale House and Brothers Pizza. Great subs and beer.
Vienna Ale House, isn't that on a corner of 193?
Yeah, we were out there.
82?
Yeah, old 82.
Yeah,
Old 82 and 193.
little gray bar.
Yeah. It used to be the Hitchin Post, I think.
Yeah, I did the chicken and waffles. Oh my god, dude, the food was so good. It really
I remember
was.
one time we went there on a bike run, and then there were people like in big Jeeps and stuff trying to get through the parking lot. Do you remember that?
Yes.
They were. It was like, where do you think you're going here? We had 100 bikes here, and you're trying to.
And you're trying to weave through us. Excuse me.
Yeah.
People have some respect for us on the bikes. When you see a group of us together, we're usually trying to do some sort of benefit run.
Right. Yes.
And if there's over 10 bikes, we're supposed to have priority through the intersections.
Right.
Cut us a break.
Exactly.
Let us do our thing. Bikers are so generous, and they go out and take care of so many different things. It's unreal. Please don't cut us short.
Thank you. Words of wisdom from Jaybird, ladies and gentlemen.
And
That's why we had. That's
these
why it took over an hour and a half for us to get to that point, but it was worth it. The trip to get to that was amazing. What a journey to get to the brunt of the whole
journey.
Yeah, there it is.
You mentioned I will be
I'll
in
tell you what,
Nashville
that's
on the
gonna be-
20th for Def Leppard and Journey.
And Cheap Trick's opening now. Ann Wilson from Heart. Did you see Cancer?
You never know who you're going to run into on Broadway. I celebrated number 63 down there and was drinking with Luke Bryan. I run into Jelly Roll. Dude, I have had such a ball down.
Oh, you can't miss Jelly Roll, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a big dude. But
Yeah,
nicer person, honest to God. You'll never meet nicer people.
Nicer than me? Luke Bryan and Jelly Roll were nicer than me?
Yeah, a whole hell of a lot. You're rather mean to me.
They don't have an award.
Yeah, where's their award? Where's the Ben's DJ award? Did they?
Yeah. Who'd you pay off for that? I even voted for.
Well, you know what? I think they mistook me for Simply Ed is what happened. I think that's what it was.
No, dude.
Simply Fred, Fast Eddie. You know they don't know. Yeah.
In all honesty, my kids remember you when CD 106 first come out. Meeting you back in the woods there at that little blue building back on the Webb Road.
Craziest place to ever work in your life. It was that place. We never even had a lock on the door, which meant anybody could walk in at any time, and they did. Usually they weren't sober or they were there to burn one. If there was nobody just walked in and say, hey, let's see what this place. Well, maybe when your kids were there, but I mean, they were like, nobody ever just walked in there and was just like, hey, it was more like, dude, we found it. Here we are.
And that was us on the snowmobiles. Okay, we pulled in. It was like, what is this building? It's lit up. We walked. That's Fast Freddie. Kids still to this day remember that.
Yeah, we used to have a good time on Webb Road, man. Awesome time. All right, let's wrap this up. Did we get all the commercials in? Watch for bikes.
Yes,
mainly,
please watch out for us. Yeah. I mean, and if you see a bunch of us and we're together,
right,
it's usually a run.
Right.
Okay, people, please.
We're out there raising money for kids for Christmas and veterans and homeless people and hungry people. And
there's no more giving community.
Cancer and veterans and whatever else, and that's what we do. All right, let's wrap it up. Joe, thank you. Joe number 2, Jay Bird. We didn't ever call him Joe. He's not Joe. He's only Jay Bird. Even though he goes by Joseph on Facebook. It's like Joseph.
Who the hell did?
Yeah. All right, man, we're done. Thanks, everybody. Catch you tomorrow, 3:00, Y103. Free tickets for Bret Michaels' big party coming to Star Lake Saturday.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Thank you for your support.